I'm wondering if, and I understand what I'm about to say sounds like hyperbole on its face, but hopefully everyone will hear me out here, is I'm wondering if this is one of those sports moments like the Miracle on Ice, like the Buckner play, where everyone years from now will assume it was for the championship, and it was not. And that there's
very good point.
There's another game, and that's tonight. And I'm wondering if that is going to be potentially a factor this evening. Jim, what do you think?
Well, you've got to come back to earth, that's for sure, if you're Gonzaga, and that happened almost at the strike of midnight on Saturday night. So you got a really quick turnaround physically and even more importantly emotionally. And Baylor is so good; it's really indecipherable to me to tell you which team's better, or it's just to try to find the difference between the two of them. So. It was workmanlike and unmemorable, really, the way Baylor dominated my alma mater, Houston, on Saturday. They were clearly the better team, and that's who they are, and that's how they're going to play tonight. So I do think this. I do think if you want to say pay it off, if you want that moment to have the legs that you spoke of, Miracle on Ice, the Buckner play. Well, I'm going to more directly associate it with USA Russia, and then coming back and playing Finland.
Yep.
People forget they had to play Finland for the championship.
That's right.
Because the Russia game was in the semifinals, and I mentioned to Mark Pugh last night. I actually made this same parallel, looking for context. And I said, you guys have got to come back and you got to do the equivalent. You've got to beat, like the USA hockey team did, you got to beat Finland. He said, Jim, Baylor's a lot better than Finland.
You know what?
I'm going to use that line tonight. It's
go
so
for
good,
it.
But,
of course.
Yeah.
There's no question about that.
I gave it to you first, my man. You got it first.
I will take the Jim Nantz exclusive and run with it, and make sure everybody understands that when they hear that tonight on CBS. And, your great friend Al Michaels on the call of that, back in 1980, he tells the story, and maybe this is something Mark Few can take the page out of Herb Brooks. He said Herb Brooks told the team, in the intermission, down 2-1 going into the third period against Finland, you lose this, you'll take this to your graves. Like that everything that happened before. Now, obviously, that might be something particularly strenuous to say to a bunch of youngsters, but so are those kids at Team USA. It is something tonight that Baylor could use to its advantage, saying, okay, everybody's sleeping on us. We just blew out Houston, and let's go. And I'm wondering what you think the matchup looks like tonight. What are you guys talking about in your meetings beforehand? What do you think here?
If Gonzaga has its legs, Rich, this should be up and down the floor, kind of like the UCLA game was. We're talking about the highest scoring team in college basketball this year in Gonzaga. Baylor's I believe the sixth highest scoring team. Baylor's the best Baylor has the best 3-point field goal percentage. Gonzaga has the best overall field goal percentage. They make shots. They take shots quickly. They're up and down the floor. I think the game is just going to be great. We've wanted this game all year long. Mm-hmm. It took 4 months for it to happen. They were here in this very city on December the 5th. And 90 minutes before the game got shut down because a member of the basketball delegation for the Zags and a player tested positive in the Marion County. This is a Marion County town here. The health commissioner closed down the game. That was CBS's season opener, and now it'll be CBS's season ender. And it's 4 months to the day later. Here we go. And it's interesting. The game was actually programmed in concert with someone at CBS named Bess Barnes. She's remarkable. She's a programmer, puts a lot of our basketball schedule together with Dan Weinberg. They're great part of CBS. You never hear about them. They're programmers. They have unbelievable relationships, and they got together and thought, well, these two teams are going to be 1 and 2. And then Scott Drew and Mark Pugh are great pals, and they said, we need to do this because college basketball needs us to do this. We didn't have a tournament last year. We need to do this because it's what's right for the game. So they scheduled the game. All of those folks got together, hooked up on the phone, and the game never happened. As it turns out, as fate would have it, it does actually happen. It happens on the last game of the season.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.